Hi everyone and welcome back to another video with me, Shruti Vashist. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So this is going to be this week's guidance message for all of us, for ascending souls. And before we start our reading, I just want to say that I know I've been uploading a lot of videos and some of you might be wondering why. And it's just that there's just so much light that's entering the planet right now. At some point I will make an update because we're still integrating it. So I'm giving you, different things that come along the course of integration. Like there's different stages that happen, and whatever we are feeling, like my videos also are based on those subjects, so I hope that that's helping you with integration. But just to let you know, there's a lot of light that's landing on the planet now. Like I haven't experienced this level of light and transcendence in really long, in many years in fact. So eventually I'll be speaking about that. There's many souls that I'm seeing that are really moving into the next level in their enlightenment. And you might think that I go through this all the time, like there's always upgrades happening, but those are smaller upgrades. Like the kind of transcendence and moving into the next level that I'm talking about, like it's bigger. It's sort of like one of those more death situations, where we go through that dark tunnel and we enter into a whole different realm. It's not just that you're expanding within whichever realm So it's like, that move from the third to the fourth dimension, fourth to the higher fourth, like lower fourth to the higher fourth, fourth to the fifth, and etc. It's like those are the bigger changes, like a death process when you enter from one realm to another. So I'm seeing that happen, because I know so many souls that are on the path of ascension. I constantly draw them to me because I'm a guide. This is what I've chosen for myself, and this is my service. So this is what's revealed to me as well. Even if I'm not, even if let's say they're not even my clients sometimes, and or even people that I'm just connected to somehow, just overall. So I'm seeing this happen. So I just wanted to say that, because if you're experiencing like a lot of darkness and you're wondering what's happening, but at the same time it feels like something big is here and something big is shifting, and it's like that fluctuation between light and dark, then that is the reason. So just stay centered, stay put. That is what the wisdom I can give you now. Okay, so before we move into this week's reading, check out the links below this video. I actually have a new course out. It's called, it's Embodying the Fifth Dimensional Vibration. And maybe perhaps that's why it's coinciding. I was strongly guided to do this. I wasn't planning on starting this particular course. I have a few courses in mind because now I've started making courses, right? But this one, suddenly just like I started writing for it without even planning it as such. And must be for a reason, because there's a lot of people like moving into this fifth dimensional vibration, and people know about it. Like there's lots of light workers, starseeds, they know about it. They've been reading about these topics. Let's say they're watching online videos and stuff, even my own channel. But it's different. Embodiment is different. If you're simply just watching videos and absorbing information, it's not enough, because the path of enlightenment is about embodiment. It's about choosing those things that at a light level. First of all, it's about activating that at a light level. So we do those type of practices in the course. Then it's about assimilating it in the body properly, and then it's about choosing it in your outer life. So there's a whole process that happens. And I feel that I'm good at helping people ground. So at the integration level, usually that's when people are drawn to me, because I have a slightly more grounded frequency. So I can speak about the really high levels of light, but my specialization, you could say, is helping people to really embody it as well. It's not just speaking about these spiritual principles and knowing all these tools and having like your tool belt full, but how do you embody that? Okay, so so check out the the details of this course will be below this video, and before I launch it, it's on an off of like I think 33% off, and so check that out below this video, the details of the course. It's really it's the Ascension course, so I'm excited about it. That's what this channel is about, and it very directly addresses this. So And there's other links below this video. There's a previous course that I have made called Manifest Soulmate Relationships, which is more feminine. It's more about doing essentially the same thing but through a more manifesting process, if that is something that you like. And it only focuses on relationships as well. You know, enlightenment through relationships, and it's a bit more gentle, you can say. So if you're new to these subjects, you don't know what spiritual principles, you know, it's too much for you, then I would perhaps go for that one or start with that one. And also I have lowered the price for that, if you have checked it out before, because I wanted to balance out the price, because I, you know, only recently started doing courses, and my manifesting courses, I had priced them a certain way, but then when I started doing these Ascension based ones as well, I wanted it to be available to more people, because I'm really passionate about this, you know, the Ascension process, especially like people who are directly attracted to, like, directly serving Ascension. So those are the ones that would choose a course like Embody the Fifth Dimensional Vibration, right? So those are people who are serious about it, let's say. So I wanted to price it a particular way, and so therefore now the other course also is discounted, or is, you know, I've changed the price essentially. So check out that course too below this video, and check out personal services with me. There's links there. And what else? There's a free little mini course called Manifest Soulmate Relationships also. You can check that out too. Okay, so now we move into the reading for this week. As always, you can choose either number 1, number 2, or number 3. We're using a deck called Journey of Love today, which is you know, this deck looks like it really wanted to come through today, because I was planning on picking up another one, and I thought I'd pick that deck, you know, like I was just like getting everything ready, picking it up and coming here upstairs, and I really thought that I'd pick that one up, but it turned out to be this. So I guess this is the one that really wants to come through. So now you can choose 1, 2, or 3, and then just scroll through this video and find your slot and listen to the message there. So if you chose number 1, let's pick a card together. Ooh. Okay, so this is the one we get. I think it's called Falling. Look how pretty it is. This is really interesting because you know, right after this video I plan to make some videos, or maybe not right now, but I've been planning to make some videos on the darkness, on like the dark night of the soul period, on how you know, one of the first things that happens along the process of ascension is our fears come up, and this really and in my course as well that I've been speaking about it, I'm speaking about how it's, you know, poignant, like the whole process of embracing the darkness, how there's a beauty in it, there's a sensuality in it. It's not just this you know, tough period that you go through, which it is, you know, tough, but at the same time it doesn't have to be like super challenging. We can do things, like if we see things a certain way, they no longer feel like a burden, and we see things in a different way. So even though we're moving through some stuckness or areas that are uncomfortable in our body, there's this new sensuality that lands and that we feel throughout as well about the whole death process. And I feel that's the message for you this week, you know, to embrace that. Look at how pretty this card is. That is what the death process is. And I told you at the beginning in the introduction of this video that all ascending souls, we are moving through like new light levels. We're moving into a different realm in our embodiment, those who are choosing it, you know. And so there's this death process that happens before that. It's like you go through that dark tunnel, and there's light at the end of it, and but you can't necessarily always see that light right from the beginning. So you trust, you let go, you surrender, and then you're plummeted onto the other side. So there's this beautiful a vibration in the body when you fully surrender and trust, like that feeling, you know, that is there, it's almost like there's something larger within you that is functioning from within you, because you trust something that is bigger than you, because you are just this human, and it often feels like my body cannot take all of this, whatever intensity you're feeling now. But there's something deeper that lands in that space when you trust that, well, there's a larger part of me too, there's a larger order, and I belong within it. And that, you know, we start feeling that even within that the challenges and within the discomfort that we're feeling in the body, in our emotions, and just everywhere. So so it's almost like this artwork depicts that beauty, that sensation. So that is your message for today. And look at the word on this card. It says falling. So that is significant to me, because falling, often humans think of it as something, you know, I'm falling and it's going to be so bad for me. But I'm feeling, you know, like when those pop stars or whatever, they're performing on stage and they trust the audience and they just let themselves fall like that, and the audience catches them. Like there's this deep trust that is there, that these people I don't know, who could be up to anything or whatever, but it's this human trust. It's trust in something higher, that you know, that they're going to come together and I'm going to be caught. And then, you know, that wave that carries like the pop star, you know, if you've ever seen it, like like the crowd takes their body all the way. And so there's a deep level of trust that is there, you know. It can feel overwhelming looking at such a huge crowd and people you don't know, but it's the trust in something, in like the human spirit, or if you go even deeper, just in spirit itself, right? Spirit runs through all of us. That is what human spirit also really is. So falling is that process, truly surrendering, and that is what you need to do in your life right now, is to, there's something you're still not letting go of. It's like there's still some control there. So feel into your heart, what is it about? There's some control. You're still trying to hold on to something that is leaving, and you need to just surrender to it, and you'll be fine. Like it's about trusting. It might be a new concept for you, you know, like something like, let's say for example, there's so much happening on the news, like with corona, and different people believe different things, because that's the major thing that's going on in the world right now. And sometimes we have to allow a death process and let go in order to embrace something, like a different perspective that we hadn't embraced so far. So this is just one example. Like it can mean letting go of the beliefs you've held your whole life. You formed everything around those beliefs. Those are the foundations. But you see that there's something there, like the pillar foundation is weak now as you see it. So you're, you know, because you want it to be a solid foundation, you're going to keep building upon it. So within that larger goal, you allow this surrender, you trust and you let go, and it's fine. Whatever wants to leave, die, it's all good. Just because I've built it my whole life, it doesn't mean, you know, it can be there for me in a different way. And I'm open to seeing, to fully allowing this letting go. Just like death, what is death? It's like the full leaving, you know, like when our loved one dies or something, or a pet dies, they have fully left the earth plane. So it's full letting go of whatever this control is that you're holding on to. And yeah, and I'm feeling like this is something significant as well, because it's happening for all of us too. But you're going to be feeling it this week, and the more that you just allow this beauty that exists in fully surrendering, fully just this, you know, this feeling, letting go. And I don't have to hold on, I don't have to control, I trust. That is what is bringing you into the next stage, and the stage of light. So I hope you enjoyed this message. Let me know in the comments below. Give the video a like if you got some wisdom today, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will see you in my next video. So if you chose number 2, we're going to pick a card. We get this one. This deck has really beautiful images, and feel into what it means for you. And I'm going to look at it now. It says, let the feminine lead the way. I love that, because if you have noticed, the video that I made before this on my channel, I think just before this particular one, the weekly reading, was this, the feminine leading the way. So do watch that. I feel like there's some wisdom in it for you. And in that video I got really vulnerable, and I spoke about my past story, because this was a question that somebody asked me. They follow me on Instagram, and they were asking me about how I can let myself be so vulnerable, and how, because they are moving into that themselves, and they wanted to hear how it all began for me. So I gave them the full story, so that's the video. But basically, when the feminine leads the way, feminine leadership is a little bit different than, you know, masculine leadership, because and not to say that you know, females cannot lead in the more masculine way. Also, all humans contain the masculine and feminine within them, both the polarities. And the feminine way of leading, no matter which body you are in, you know, whichever gender, whichever of the genders you chose to be in, but feminine leadership is about mastering the cycles of death and rebirth, kind of like looks like the theme for this video. I spoke about it in the introduction, I spoke about it in the first message, and now even the second message, right? Like this spiraling, you see. It's like, you know, this is the death process. Like there's you're growing, whatever, then you come another cycle, next cycle, and each time you move into a new cycle, a new layer, a new dimension opens up, and or a new not dimension, but a new we kind of keep coming back to the same through this circle. But right in the center is that portal. It's like a black hole or something, and it when we're coming closer to the center, things get a bit more intense. And this particular cycle, when we completely penetrate, we are plummeted into the next one. So it's almost like being in a new cycle altogether, like this whole spiral that is there. You've entered a new dimension of it altogether. And that is how the feminine leads. It brings the wisdom that death is okay, that transformation is okay, that allowing that things that, you know, the only answer to life is not to build upon what we already have. Is that the way that things, that stable foundations are built, is to also take out time to retreat, is to take out time to go within and to see whether whatever you are building, because whatever you are building in the outer, it's coming from within you, right? There's that idea, that essence is first born within you. So you're working with that, and then you're putting it out there, and it becomes something physical. So if you're not fully in tune with what is inside, then what you build outside is going to be weak. It's not going to be the full potential of what is here. So that's why we go through these periods where we are asked to just let go, and, you know, let's say we want to do something and we're not able to take that action, or it's taking longer than we expected. So that's the reason, because life and our body is calling to us, you know, slow down. It's time to go within. It's time to take stock within. It's time for inner action rather than outer action. And that process is important. So you are coming deeper into that, but I really feel even more than just coming deeper into it yourself. It's like there's leadership emerging, because I keep getting this message, right? And like I told you, this woman reached out to me and she wants to express her vulnerability. So it's also feminine leadership, and she's connecting to me, which, like, my whole channel is about that, right? The divine feminine and leadership this way. So so you are called to basically become a leader in some way, and this doesn't have to mean something so grand that you can't handle right now, you know, that you think, oh, does that mean I have to also start making YouTube videos, or I have to, I don't know, lead women's groups, or whatever it is. Like, if it feels too big, that it doesn't have to be that. It can be something small for you. A small step. So start with a small step, but it's about expression. So it's about expressing that deep feminine wisdom that you contain within you, of this more feminine side of life. So let's see if there's anything else. There's this red that's there. So there's new power landing for you. It's red is the color of Shakti, of like life force energy moving through you, and when we allow it and we flow with it, it's like this dance with life. It's sensual, it's also powerful, it's magnetic. So that is what leadership also, those are some qualities that a leader has. They're very magnetic. They are okay holding their power no matter what other people think about them. It's about leading, like you being more extroverted first with whatever that thing is that you want to express. So you showing up first, you being more generous and giving first. That is what a leader is. They do, and they are the first ones to take the action. Then other people can, you know, observe them, and they can sort of follow suit through that example. So yeah, look at this image. What does it mean for you, aside from what I said? and that is your wisdom for this week. I hope that you enjoyed this message. Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you got some wisdom today. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not subscribed, and I will see you in my next video. If you chose number 3, then let's pick a card. So I'm gonna go with this one. Ooh, look at it, Shakti. It's so interesting. All these cards are connected. Like if you chose this one, please also watch the guidance for card number 2, because I was just speaking about Shakti. It was this card, and you see there's this red color that's there, and I was speaking about how this is Shakti, like the flow of life force, and then you got the card Shakti. So let's see, there is an image of a woman who is just there. It's like she's inside a womb or something. Wow, this is really beautiful. And it's like, you know, there's this beautiful womb that is there, and it feels a little bit scary. It's like she's sitting here, and even though the whole womb is her, like this is her, this beautiful feminine womb space, it's like it's her physical body, it's her purpose, but at the same time she's not fully seen that this is her, and she's looking at it as something separate, and she's scared to enter, almost like, because of the enormity of it, because she hasn't fully opened up to the fact that it feels enormous and gigantic, like it'll take over her body. But she hasn't opened up to the fact that it is her body. This whole larger thing actually is her too. It's a larger part of her. She belongs within it. Not only does she belong within it, but also it is her too. So it's both. So it's this deep part of you if you chose this message. I don't know, this is so vague. Usually I just have wisdom to share, but it feels almost like even I'm afraid to go fully in to this, to what the message means, because it's so it's power, and that is what Shakti is, right? When we are open to penetrate those areas which feel a little bit more uncomfortable, like we go into them. It's like when you imagine the period, like women have periods, right? So there's an egg that is there, and there's a shedding process that happens, so that a new cycle can be born for the month. And so women, people who have like female bodies, they know this death process within themselves, this death and rebirth. It's not only death, it's also death and then rebirth. So death and life, this process, the cycles. It feels like there's something hidden that is there, like about your femininity, something you're not embracing, or something that is healing. You know, it could be like it looks almost like a womb, and there's like some disturbance there, almost like, you know, when people have problems getting their periods, or they're delayed, or there's some sort of suppression there, or stuck energy. So it's I almost feel like saying let it go, because it doesn't need to be there. And this doesn't have to be a physical disease that you have. This doesn't mean that if you don't have any disease that now you have one and you don't have to get scared. That's not what this is about. It's about energy. It's about reclaiming an even deeper part of you. Like it's like when we open up to orgasm, like our true orgasmic nature in its full potential, we penetrate deeper layers, you know, and through that we might be a normal functioning human. We don't have disease in the body as such, but there's always deeper layers to penetrate. And when we penetrate into a deeper yet layer, there you know, we release this resistance we have to embracing our power and embracing because power, you know, why more people are not powerful, the real reason is that when you are willing to stand in your power and you're willing to say, this is me, this is my authenticity, lots of people are triggered around you. And a lot of humans are not willing to go through that. Like, you know, all of these famous people you think about, celebrities or whatever, I know there's a lot of distortion that's also there, but let's say, you know, let's think of a person who is not that distorted, like they just made it, like they and they became famous or whatever. They have to deal with a lot, like anything that they're feeling is out there and very, very exaggerated. So they also get those blessings, because whenever they're feeling happy and they're feeling balanced, you know, and they're feeling love, that love is widely reflected in the public by through adoration and all of this attention that they get from the public. But at the same time, the slightest thing that happens in their life, let's say there's a breakup or whatever, it's also equally public. Like, imagine how vulnerable of a situation that is. Like, the worst things that happen in your life, that you want to have at least a little bit of a period where you're alone dealing with that. You don't really get it as a celebrity, you know, it's out there for the public to see. So that's part and parcel of power, the things that we have to be firm within. And that's why a lot of people don't actually, subconsciously, they don't choose power, because they don't want to break through that process. And whenever this letting go, death type process happens, or there's something challenging that is there that we need to embrace, like in a alone way, we feel alone in it, and we need to be powerful and alone in it first. When we fully stand within that and we just say, it's all right, I got this, you know, because I got this mainly because there's something larger within me. It's not just this small human. I am supported in all ways. So when you allow that, a new cycle lands, and then you get everything that you felt alone in, that comes rushing in a new form, whether that's relationships supporting you, whatever it might be that you were feeling that you're alone in. Because part of power is being alone at first. It's like the king or the queen, like they kind of stand alone. They can't share everything that they know with just everybody. It's like, you know, some things only they know, and they have to take like the executive decision within that. So that's what power is, because any responsibility also comes on them, whatever the implications are of their decision that they have imposed on the whole kingdom. So it's a lot of responsibility. So this is there's new power landing for you, and you have to know that there's a larger part of you, and you have to claim that, and that is leading to this whatever little distortion or whatever little wounding you feel within you for being alone or handling challenging things. You see that you're actually not alone, because there's a larger part of you, and that's how you're walking through the portal now and onto the other side. And this is a really deep, very, very powerful card. So you're becoming super powerful. I mean, it's called Shakti. Shakti is power, like it's the heart, the essence of power. So yeah, look at the image. What does it mean for you aside from what I've said? And that is your message for this week. If you got some wisdom today, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. And that's it. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.